Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to come on and kind of talk to you about how college is going, as I am coming to an end of my first year for media. So I'm going to be just like diving into how I am doing and how college is going. So stay tuned. Okay, so I just wanted to jump on and talk to you about how I'm doing in college. Let me just like sit back because I don't think I'm in frame. So basically, college is going so well, but I'm going to start with saying the only reason I believe it's going so well is because God has been in the center of the whole thing. I've just got the nose. God has been in the center of my whole walk through level 1 media. So honestly, if it weren't for God, I don't think it would have been going as well as it has been. But it's been going so well, and I've been able to just build upon God's love. So I'm really glad that it's been going well. So yeah, let's dive straight into what's been going well. Okay, so basically, the things that's been going well for me in college is, so the first one definitely being my faith has definitely developed through going to college. And I think, but just because I'm seeing so many different people, different walks of life, like I'm understanding that yes, my relationship with God needs to be so strong, and it's only building because people, how do I explain it? Just because people in college aren't religious per se, or they are going through a different season in their life, I'm trying to like understand that everyone's season, whether you're Christian or not, is a season, and it's a time where people are growing and people are developing. So I need to not judge their season for what their season is, because their season is their season. But for me, what I'm definitely learning is to have faith through my season, because I feel like there's so many things that I've gone through within the first year, and it's not even done yet. The first year's not over. It's soon, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be over. But learning to have faith in my own walk with God through college is so important. And people that were talking to me about going into college, because I was homeschooled for some time. And obviously, if you want a testimony, I will get that done. Because it will cover the whole chunk of what my life is and was before college. But generally, now that I am going to college and I'm studying and I'm locked in, and God has provided friends that support me, that I know they are my friends who are, I would call them and text them if I'm feeling uncomfortable. It's a blessing in disguise how important faith is in my walk with my whole college season. And I just think faith has been so important. And I've had to step out of my humanly flesh as well. And like, of course I have faith, but it's having faith and not judging other people for their lack of faith, if that makes any sense. So, and not judging them for their season that God has put them in. So they may not believe in God, but don't judge them as a general. Like, that's something I've really, like, before going to college, I used to judge a lot. And I think I'm developing my ability to not judge as much as I did before. So that's definitely something it's definitely, my brain froze, definitely something I'm so happy with, that I've learned through my first year. Also in my first year, if you are not a college student and you're a year 11 and you're watching this video and you're thinking, right, I need to like lock in because GCSE is coming, buddy, it's a bit too late to revise when it's year 11. Bro, I tell all my friends, and you'll know if you're watching this, to revise ahead of time. Because once exams come, because right now we're in exam season now in England. So exams are coming like next week, or mine's going to be next week if I post this. Yeah, it's going to be next week. So it's a bit late for people to revise this week. because the exams are literally this week. So I'm like, tell my friends ahead of time, like, we need to lock in and revise because it's so important that we pass it and we don't have to stress maths and English because we are also doing our degree. So as much as we, you know, want to pass, like, obviously we want to pass, but a lot of my class is resits, people who are resitting, or people that need more time to pass it. So I'm definitely included in that. So that is the thing, that when you go to college and if you don't pass maths and English, that's why I tell all my friends, literally lock in, and I'm telling you guys the same. Lock in before you hit year 11 and lock into when you have the mocks and you have those smaller tests that lead to your GCSEs, because your GCSEs are just around the corner and those are the ones you need to pass. So, and it's, I think for me, that I've learned through the whole first year of college is revision is so important, and revision mindset. Like, why am I revising? I've had to learn to be okay, and a separate conversation will be, I need to, what I will say after this is, I just reminded myself of something. But yeah, I need to be able to change my mindset on why I'm revising, because sometimes we revise because we are because everyone else has told us to. No, it's because we need to improve our grades for our work. So if you actually look at why you're revising and why it will better help you, and try and make the revision fun, maybe, then maybe that's a better way for your brain to process, okay, revision is not that bad. I'm gonna do it because I need to actually get the things processed in my head, so by the time I have my exam, I know exactly what's going on. Because, of course, me as a student, I have media and maths and English to do. So that's 3 subjects, which my majority of my week covers. So when I have exams, I'm worried about my exam and most are worried about my degree. So it's kind of a wrapped around thing. And if you don't understand how to really lock into those 3 things, which usually people who are doing media or art or design or whatever have already passed maths and English and are just focused on media. But however, my whole class are the opposite. So we are locked into maths and English as well as we have media. So when it's the end of the year, which we are in right now, we have 4 assignments due within the time span of 3 weeks, which we're stressing about those assignments, because those assignments, if we don't pass them, we don't pass our degree. And we're also stressing about maths and English, because if you don't pass maths and English, we're going to have to resit. So for us, it's more of a mental, like, barrier. And when people are reminding me that I have an exam next week, bro, I know. Like, I've mentally said to myself, I have that exam next week, I have that exam next week, I have that exam next week. So me personally, hate when people remind me. And the college always do. So even though it's already on your dashboard and you already see that you have an exam, they constantly remind you that you have an exam. And that's where I have to, like, try and not get anxious and try not to have an anxiety attack or a panic attack, because I have to resit my maths, and that's the problem. Like, that's something I'm really battling with, and being hard on myself. Like, I'm learning that my personality really defines how my week goes, because my week, like, I'm really, really hard on myself. If I don't pass a criteria for media, I beat myself up mentally, and I'm like, why didn't I do that? And I feel like there's so many people who do that. I'm not the only one. Comment down below if that is something you feel like when you do something wrong, you do kind of get hard on yourself, and that's definitely something I'm struggling with mentally. Like, I get hard on myself when I don't actually complete work, or I complete work and it's not quite past what the criteria was, or I get mad when I haven't just, like my maths exam, I didn't quite pass and it pissed me off because I had worked hard, I attended every lesson, and it's just like, how can I be in a way that stupid? And like, where else majority of people would blame teachers, blame someone else, I am literally pinning all that, like, anxiety, and it's not good. And I ask God to, like, take that away, and it's like still something I'm struggling with now, knowing that I have a reset for maths, but I have in my head I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I've had that result stuck in my head from last time, and I'm no good for any higher. And that's kind of like where I'm sticking, and it's also going into my personal life where I'm like, even my dating life, like, oh, things have gone so badly that, oh my gosh, I'm not worth anything better. And then in my head, like, when I'm talking to God and I'm like really in my like really locked in and talking to God about it, that's when I'm realizing God sees it the other way around. Actually, I'm worth more than what I'm settling for. And I think for me, I'm struggling mentally, like, for myself. I beat myself up because I'm like, I can see I'm worth more, but then I'm like, I get treated like I'm not. Even in some of my friendship groups, like, I'm learning, I think I'm getting more of an adult, and I'm learning that, you know, it's not really worth wasting my time on people who don't want to, like, spend time with me. And when I was younger, and still now, I am such somebody, can't speak. I am somebody who always feels like I need to please somebody. I need to be there to be smiling and happy, when really inside I know I'm lonely and I feel isolated. And it's just like something that I've always struggled with, feeling alone. Like, I've gone to youth and I've gone to church. Like, people say, go to people who will build your community. And that's something that's something I've always done. However, that's not built my community. In fact, that's broken me even more and made me feel even more isolated and even more hurt. So it's just like, how do I heal from the fact that I'm going to youth, I'm going to these events, and I am trying to get out there, but the people I'm getting out there with and talking to aren't building me up, where they're supposed to be, as my Christian sisters and brothers in Christ. They're supposed to be building me up, not making me have anxiety every single week. And for me, that's what they would do. And like, when I felt like I need prayer, like, they would never be a safe space for me to come and like say I need prayer. I felt judged by my Christian, who I before would class them as friends, but then now I'm like, no, I value myself enough to say they're not my friends, because friends would not make me feel judged in my walk with God, because I actually don't need that right now, and I'm actually struggling all these other things of my life, and especially because I've gone through grief this year, and that's something, sorry, I might get emotional, but it's something I'm also going through. And I'm also going through other mental stuff that I'm processing. And I feel like when I'm in college, it's almost like with school, I don't know if anyone else gets this way, but like for me, I've learned to kind of not isolate myself, but isolate my feelings so that I don't feel hurt or don't feel like upset by something. I've learned to almost ignore it, and then like also almost shut up about how I feel. And that to me doesn't feel healthy at all. I should be able to talk about it. But I've learned to be able to put up with grief, or put up with things that I am struggling with inside of me. And may it be my anxiety, or may it be my like sadness, like I've learned to like not talk to people about it. But like, I will talk to family members, of course, but I've learned to kind of like, I feel like I'm burdening people when I am talking about it. So I just try and like kind of do the breathing methods, and like talking to God is one of the ways that really gets me out of feeling like no one's listening to me, or feeling like no one's heard what I'm saying, because that's the thing I've struggled with. And feeling like most of the people that has passed got tired of me talking. And that's probably like something that I'm struggling with till this day. Like, I will never be able to have, well, I will never be able to have the people that I have lost. And when I was with them, like, people talk about not being able to, like, it's heavy, man. People talk about not being able to, oh gosh, I'm gonna cry. People talk about not being able to, what's it called? Kind of process things, and I think because I've lost so many people that I've loved, I've kind of, at this way, I've kind of not processed things. And whenever I've lost somebody, it's been really hard on me. And it's still, like, I've lost my nanny this year. and it's still something I'm processing. And especially because I have exams, like I wish I could talk to my grandparents, and like I'm constantly being reminded that I don't have those things, grandparents, and I'm like, that's something like I'm struggling with. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cry because I just did my makeup. But yeah, that's something I'm struggling with in my walk with God, to like, whoa, to be okay with losing and being in grief. Like I really admire Job because he lost everything. Like everything he lost, and he was still joyful. I don't quite get where his joy was coming from. Obviously it was coming from the Holy Spirit, but like for me, if I had lost everything, and sometimes I do feel like I've lost the majority of things. Not everything, but I still have stuff. I'm not gonna be ungrateful. I'm just saying I feel like sometimes I have lost. But when I feel like I've lost stuff, I don't really know how to be joyful and smile and be happy about it because I'm actually feeling pain. And that's something like I admire that Job was able to just accept that he lost his kids, accept that his wife died, and just be joyful that God will do something. And I just still don't quite get that. And that's something I pray to God, like, what made Job so joyful in time of grief, in time of loss? What made him so like joyful? In some ways, I thought he was kind of malicious, because why would you be happy? But then I'm like, the more I've become more into my faith, and the more I'm getting older, I'm like, actually, he's not malicious. He's actually got the Holy Spirit in him. So that's something I struggle with. Like, and it sometimes does reflect in my college life, because people do talk about grief when they're in college, and they talk about, you know, things that really quite sad. And it's just like, I have not lost a lot in comparison. But I also have, like, I try not to compare my loss to everyone else, because that's what's gonna mentally hurt. But when people are there talking about grief, the only thing I can do is try and make jokes about it. Because, like, I don't want to cry in front of people I don't know. Because I don't feel comfortable around people who I don't know. So I kind of just make it, ha ha ha, it's so funny. Yeah, it's such a joke, ha ha ha. Not like in a malicious way, like, I just make some funnier jokes about grief because I don't want to cry. Like, I remember a group of guys were in college, and they're probably a few years older, and they were talking about grief because somebody our age died on a motorcycle accident, and that really made me sad. Because I think about, oh, he's died, yes, but, like, has he died giving his life to Jesus? That's something I really think about. So, in conclusion, my whole college first year, I can't say because it's not completed, but we're halfway through the first year, and it's been a challenge because there's been so many obstacles along the way, but I've been able processing. Even though it's been a challenge and there's been obstacles, I've been able to be faithful, to keep in my head that my mentality of doing some revision. And I've been able to make solid friendships that I feel like I will keep throughout my adult life. But that's only if God is willing. So I think for now, for the half of the first year, I'm doing as well as I can do with how life is doing. And my tip for anyone who is going into college, year 11s, is just don't be so hard on yourselves, because it's not really worth it. And try and find somebody to talk to. Even though if it's somebody you barely know, like, at least it's somebody you're talking to. Because I think for a majority of my year, I kind of isolated myself because I was going through a lot. And that's what's hurt the most. You don't need to do that. You just need to be able to talk to people, and they will hear you and listen to you. But find the right people, not the wrong ones. And it's definitely a challenge, but yes, it's worth it. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Comment down below if you want any more videos about college life or anything like this.